What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to this week's Anfield Agenda One Football News Show. We've had a look at the One Football app and found 4 or 5 stories that we think will be of interest to you, the Anfield Agenda audience. Now, you can find these stories yourself, of course, entirely free by downloading the One Football app via the link in the description. That particular link lets them know that we sent you their way. And of course, the One Football app is the premier football app for all fans out there. You've got league tables, you've got statistics, you've got video content, augmented reality, and so many more features that will just keep you occupied and amused for hours. It is honestly the app, my go-to football app, has been for years, and it's been a pleasure to work with the guys at One Football as well. The app is entirely free. You can get it in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, but if you want to help us out, use our link in the description below. As I said, it lets them know that we sent you. But look, let's get stuck into it and let's talk about the first story of the day. The first story that I want to talk to you guys about is, of course, Curtis Jones and Aston Villa's rumoured interest. Thankfully, this article goes on to say that there is no interest, or at least they won't be formalising that interest in the form of a bid. There had been stories doing the rounds, alright, that Villa were about to lodge a £15 million bid for Curtis Jones, and I've got to be honest, it left many of us Liverpool fans scratching our heads wondering what on earth is going on. Because, you know, Curtis Jones is somebody who broke through on the scene. You remember the penalty shootout, you remember the win against Everton. We've seen him progress, we've seen him blossom, and he's a young man that we all think has a bright future at the club. That being said, I have to say where my mind drifted to when I first heard about the interest in Curtis Jones, I was thinking, are Liverpool maybe going to try and do something with Ollie Watkins here? Is Curtis Jones being used as maybe, I don't want to say bait, but part of an exchange or something? But apparently no. It was just a story that was doing the rounds. The Villa were interested, as this story suggests, via Sky Sports, that there is no deal to be done there, so no need to worry about this one. Curtis Jones will be remaining at Liverpool past the end of the transfer window, and look, I think that's the news that all of us wanted to hear. So a story that's pretty much a non-story to start off with tonight, but I always do like to start off with a positive, and I view Curtis Jones staying at Liverpool as a massive positive. The second story I want to have a chat about today is, of course, the leaked images of Liverpool's third kit for the season ahead. I've seen these images for quite a while, and there were 2 sets of images going around. One of the one you're seeing now on screen, and one was a pinstripe shirt that, you know, most of us hoped was going to be the third shirt. Now, this shirt is got a check collar, as you can see in it, and that check collar is supposed to pay homage to the flags and banners on the Kop in the 70s when, you know, Liverpool were reigning kings of Europe, but I don't think they've quite done the job that was intended. To me, this looks like Ronald McDonald had a little bit of a mix-up with the ketchup and the mustard and got into a bit of a fight, and this was the outcome. I don't like it one bit. I feel like it was a really good idea, but executed in a really poor way. But I'm also aware that football kits are a divisive thing. So for instance, I was much more of a fan of this season's home kit than I was of the away kit, whereas most people were the other way around. Most people were looking for the away kit. So it is a personal choice, but I've not come across anybody that really does like this kit. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But for me, as much as I was looking forward to the potential of Liverpool having a yellow kit, a yellow third strip for this season, it's not going to be one that has me parting with my money, unfortunately, ladies and gents. But as I said, it is a personal thing. So let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Our third story today, ladies and gentlemen, is around Michael Edwards and the fact that Liverpool are looking to try and keep him past his current contract, which ends at the end of this season. Now, it's believed that Michael Edwards has informed the Liverpool hierarchy of his wish to leave when his contract does run out at the end of the season. And look, most of us Liverpool fans have nothing but positive stuff to say about Michael Edwards. He's been a massive part of the reign of Jurgen Klopp in Liverpool. He's been a massive part of the success that we've had, winning that Premier League, winning the European Cup, the Super Cup, the Club World Cup, and some of the transfer fees that he has gotten in for fringe players at Liverpool have been quite remarkable. I don't know another word to think of. It has been astonishing to see some of the business he's done. You know, my mind automatically drifts back to selling Kevin Stewart to Hull and buying Andy Robertson for nearly the same amount in the same window. What a transfer that was. You think of some of the money we got for the likes of Dominic Solanke and stuff to Bournemouth. He has been absolutely fantastic in his job, and although some of us have been critical of the owners, I think most of us believe that Michael Edwards has done nothing short of a sensational job at the club. And we all hope that Liverpool can change his mind and that he will stay on past the end of the current campaign. And look, if Michael Edwards decides that, he wants a new challenge in life and he wants to go off and explore other opportunities, then of course we will wish him the best. But I think we all keep our fingers crossed that Liverpool can convince him to stay on for a few more years. Hopefully at least until the end of the Klopp era anyway, because Michael Edwards started out playing football as a youngster. Then he ended up working with Harry Redknapp. I think Portsmouth is where he got his first start in stats and analysis. And he's progressed all the way through to right where he is, through different various roles at Liverpool, always continually getting promoted because he was so good at his job, right through the position that he currently holds now. And let's hope that he stays there for the remainder of this season and of course a few years to come. But the decision will ultimately rest with Michael Edwards.
Some other breaking news this morning. Jordan Henderson has officially signed his new contract with Liverpool Football Club. The announcement came this morning, which is no surprise to a lot of us, because I think a lot of us were expecting they might hold it off until today. Put that out as a bit of good news in the morning. Probably no signings, I'd say, off the back of this, because they're putting this out this morning. Like I said, a bit of a PR spin. Good news in the morning, no signings. That's probably how it's going to go. The news initially broke a few days ago from, I think, James Pearce and David Ornstein of The Athletic, saying a deal had been agreed. The 31-year-old has signed a new deal until 2025, which is bringing him up to the age of 35, which is actually the same as James Milner right now. There had been some speculation a few weeks ago that Henderson might push for a move away from the club. Maybe not push, maybe that's the wrong word, but he was looking to maybe move away if he didn't feel valued by the money men at the club, which there's been a lot of reports the last few days as well that like Jurgen Klopp was a big part of why they did offer him what he wanted in the end. People were saying, he's 2 years left on his contract, he's not going to leave. But if he doesn't feel valued, why wouldn't he leave? Why would he want to stay here if he doesn't feel valued? We've already seen Alisson Becker, Trent, Robertson, Van Dijk, Fabinho. I think that's everyone. And then we're still looking at Mo Salah for new contracts, possibly Mane and Firmino. Maybe not all of them, but a few of them. Good business by the club, obviously. But is new contract signings enough in a season where we really are screaming out for another forward? Like, I'm not going to criticise the club for signing up players on new contracts. Obviously not. That is fantastic. We've built up this club for so long to get to this point where we have so many world-class players. But we need to capitalise on that. Yes, keeping them here is important, but surely a signing or two was needed. It's not like we're asking for Mbappe or Haaland. Like, Saul, he's available on loan. Daniel Malin went to Dortmund for very cheap. Doku is available. Like, we're not asking for massive things, just one or two 30 to 40 million signings. I don't think that's unreasonable. But anyway, good news about Jordan Henderson. Hopefully more good news on Mo Salah soon.
The fourth story of the day, ladies and gentlemen, is around the transfer window and the fact that it looks like Liverpool are unlikely to do any more business as things currently stand. We've done really well in this window with regards to moving on some of the fringe players that are at the club. Shaqiri, Awoniyi have moved on, obviously Marco Grujic and many others as well. So the club have done that part of what we had believed was part of a process. We then thought it would be contract renewals. Again, we've had the likes of Fabinho, Trent, Robbo, Queevy and Kelleher, Harvey Elliott, Virgil van Dijk, Fabinho, all signed contract extensions, which is brilliant. But I think most of us will feel like this will be a massive opportunity missed if Liverpool do in fact do as this article suggests and not add any more depth to the squad ahead of a busy season. We know that we need another midfielder. We know that we probably need another attacking player as well. And we believe that if these fringe players were moved on, we would see those players brought in. At least that was the brief that we were hearing from many of the media, and you can only assume that that was being put out by the club as well. But look, as things stand, unless something has drastically changed between the time I record this, which is 11:30 on Monday night, and the time this goes out, which should be fairly early on the Tuesday transfer deadline day, it does look like Liverpool's incomings will be limited to perhaps just Ibrahim Konate and Bobby Clark, which, if we're being really honest about it, it's just not good enough when we've seen what other clubs have done in the window, the amount of money that the likes of Manchester United, City of course have spent 100 million on Jack Grealish, Chelsea have spent a lot of money, but they've also recouped a lot of that money. But I can't say that without saying we've also recouped some money. We are technically in profit in this window, ladies and gentlemen, with regards to transfer ins and outs. So I'll leave it up to you to have your say, but I'm currently feeling pretty frustrated with life right now, knowing that 30 or 40 million for a midfielder, another 30 or 40 million for an attacker would have been more than enough to, I think, see Jurgen Klopp have the squad depth that he needs to try and challenge on all four fronts this season. But as always, I want to know what you think about the current transfer window situation, or the lack of situation, I should say. Let me know in the comment section below. The last article that I want to bring to your attention today revolves around Fiorentina's reported interest in Liverpool's Divock Origi. Of all the players that we've spoken about in the window that may be looking to move on, Origi is probably the one headline player that is still left. Liverpool have been willing to part with Divock Origi for at least the past year that I'm aware of, but they have been holding out for a price that they deem fair for the player. Divock Origi has been involved in some massive moments at Liverpool Football Club. Obviously, you think back to the game against Barcelona, the Champions League final, his goal against Newcastle, his header against Everton when it bounced off the crossbar and went in, but it just hasn't worked out for him. He hasn't really been able to progress as the squad has progressed, and to me it would seem a crying shame, because we didn't see Divock Origi in the matchday squad for the game against Chelsea, so you can only really assume that Jurgen Klopp doesn't see him as part of his future plans at Liverpool. And Divock Origi did sign a new contract at the club when he could have left on a free, which may make it a little bit more difficult for Liverpool to find somebody not only willing to pay the money that they want, but also willing to match the wages that Divock will currently be earning at Liverpool. So, you know, we often talk about, oh, let's just move this player on, or let's just move that player on. Well, there's a human side to these transfers as well, and any move for Divock Origi has to suit Divock Origi. And I don't mean that in a disingenuous way. I mean that entirely fairly. It is his career, it is his life, and he is contracted to Liverpool Football Club. So if a deal, whether it be Fiorentina or somebody else, pops up between now and 11 p.m. tonight, because, you know, I'm looking into the future tense here, I know you're going to be watching this on Tuesday, then maybe Divock Origi will move on. But if he doesn't move on, it looks like Liverpool are going to be stuck with a player that we probably don't deem as being of the quality to impact games. And you know, that's been pretty much the story of his tenure, of his time at Liverpool, Divock Origi. Flashes of brilliance, flashes of potential, but not enough consistency. And, you know, I hope this is resolved for his sake and our sake. I hope that by the time the window slams shut at 11 p.m, that Divock Origi will move on in his career and will start his journey at another club with a thank you from all of us for a job well done and some absolutely magic moments. Look, ladies and gentlemen, that brings to an end this week's Anfield Agenda One Football News Show. As I said, you can find all the stories that I've spoken about today in the One Football app. It is entirely free. You can download it via the link in the description below. Don't forget, we've got loads of content coming up here on Anfield Agenda, so stay tuned. We've got match day watch-alongs. We've got loads of content during the week with our late night agenda shows as well. And of course, we'll be working hand in hand with our friends at One Football throughout the season. So, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and I hope to see you guys again very soon. Take care.